Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone. We are live, everyone. Good evening. We are live, everyone. Good evening, everyone. For if you know you are online, yeah, start typing in the comment section. I am ready. Okay. Good evening, everyone. We are live. I want you to type on the comment section. I am ready, so I can know who I'm with here. So welcome everyone to this section of graphic design using smartphone, basically Canva. Okay, so I welcome you all, and trust me, I am very excited for this section. I am very excited. I don't know about you, but for me personally, I am excited to have this section. I just want you out there to prepare your mind, and you have to be ready for this because a lot of content, a lot of rich content is about to be dished out. And this is a sure banker for establishing yourself financially and getting a sustainable source of income, right? So, you guys, if you are connected currently, please type in the comment section. I am ready. I am ready. I am ready. Okay, someone was connected earlier. I'm not seeing the person again, but I'll just give 1 minute grace for everyone to connect. So as soon as it's 1 minute, 1 minute, we'll just start because we don't have time. Our facilitator for today is here. Our facilitator for today is here on ground. So you have to be here. Okay, please. Okay, I have someone connected right now. Please type in the comment section. I am ready. If you know you are connected with this class, we just have 1 minute to go, right? So few seconds to go. Let's just put it that way. So if you know you are connected to this class right now and you're ready to get value, just type in the comment section. I am ready. Okay, it's time. So it is a singular honor in my part. It is a great privilege to introduce someone very special in our midst. Mr. David is currently present with us. He is live right now as I speak with you, and he's here to take us on this section. So, without wasting much of your time, I would love to introduce him. So, um, Mr. David, you're welcome. We're happy to have you. Good evening, sir. We're happy to have you.
Really, thank you. Thank you, goodness.
Welcome.
Thanks for the opportunity. Um, Thank you, everyone. Good evening, everybody. How many people do we have online? I would love for us to wait for one or two other people to join so that,
Okay.
from the scratch, so that they don't ask repeat questions. Let's have more people joining,
Okay.
then
I'll
we
just
could
put them on
commence.
the group also.
Okay, okay, let's have more people join. We could send some prompts also.
If you are connected, please type in the comment section I'm ready so that we know how many of us are connected. Please type in the comment section I'm ready. Please let your comment come in.
Thank you. Thank you, Nana. Welcome. So, goodness, how do we do it? Do we wait for some people to join in, maybe a good number, or do we go start immediately then? I was hoping that maybe we're up to like 10 out of the total number then, so that I could comment, so that everybody will follow along a bit. But as for me, I'm okay to wait for them. What do you think?
Okay, I if it's okay for you to wait, no problem. But the class is
Okay.
recorded, so they can always access it. But we can still give. Okay, people are joining actually. It's increasing. I
Okay.
just sent the link to the group chat, so some people are already
Okay.
clicking directly.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so if you want to give
Okay.
some time for them, no problem.
Yeah. Yes. I would love that, so that I'll carry more people along. Let's see if we could have up to 10. I think we have up to in the WhatsApp, we have up to for something members. So let's see if we could have up to maybe 10 people joining.
Okay.
So I'll carry more people along, because I don't want maybe repeat questions. Some people might not really have that time to start and the motivation to start going back to a recorded class.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
You think that the other platforms people are also watching, maybe YouTube or something?
yes,
Or is
yes.
this count?
We connected
Okay.
to YouTube because some people were complaining of Facebook network. Like Facebook was not easy for them to connect, so we
Okay.
had to
Okay.
link it
So what do you
YouTube.
suggest? Should I proceed?
Yes, I think we should start. Yes, I think we should start.
Okay. Okay, okay, that's fine. So good evening, everyone. Depending on the platform you're watching from, whether you're watching this video as a recorded video or you're watching it live, maybe on YouTube, on Facebook, or wherever platform, because I think streaming here can integrate to so many other social media platforms, apart from Facebook. So today we'll be taking a Canva class. It will be a practical class. We have about 2 hours for this particular class. So this will be like the fastest Canva class from beginner to intermediate that you ever see. Even if it's the first time of accessing Canva, you can start creating one or two magic, from this class, and that's the idea. would reduce a lot of theories. We'll see most of the theories come into play practically on Canva. We'll be seeing the practicals come live. So as much as possible, I would eliminate theories because of the time and we'll go directly into practical. Then we'll see some of these things come into play. So let me share my screen. So first of all, if you want to access Canva, just as I said, if you're in one of our groups, um, I said to access Canva, if you're on web, that's you're on your PC, you're on your Macintosh or wherever you want to access it via web, all you just have to do is go to canva.com. You'll be able to access it. Then if you're on mobile phone, that's you don't have access to web, all you have to do is just to download the Canva app. And if you download the Canva app, let me okay. If you download the Canva app, you can either download it from Play Store, that's Android if you're using an Android device, or you download it from um, Apple Store, then the App Store, that's the Apple Store. So either of the ways could also work. Then there's also Canva standalone desktop app, but I don't use that. It's almost similar to the web version of it. So I rather just use the web version than the standalone native desktop app. So these are the way that you can, these are various ways you can access Canva. Confirm that you can hear me from, at least for those on Facebook that I could see. Confirm that you can hear me very well. If at any point in time you can't hear me again, please do indicate. I'm on the chat. I'm seeing some of our responses. Then if you if you want to access Canva, okay, I made mention of the mobile apps, then the web platform. So these are various ways that you can access Canva. So the most people will be like, okay, I'm teaching with laptop. How am I able to follow through? Now I teach with laptop so that it will be faster. If I'm on my mobile screen and all that, the class will be a lot boring. Then I won't be as fast as I want to be. But be rest assured that every single thing that can be done on Canva for web can also be done on the mobile. So it's just a matter of you following along. If you could, be patient and follow through, it's basically the same thing. It's just like I always give this example. It's just like someone that learned how to drive and you have a specific car that you use, and you're telling someone that apart from that car, that you can't use another car. There is equivalent to that you can't even drive at all. So what am I saying? If you're able to follow through, most of every single thing you see here is also the same way on the mobile. It's just a minor adjustment on the mobile. It's just for you to understand how things work. It's just like you opening Facebook on your laptop or on web, then using Facebook app. It's basically the same thing, just change of arrangement, but all the whole features you still see them there. So follow along, follow through carefully, observe what is happening, then you still be able to replicate most of the things that are done on web. I'll also do a recorded video on navigating some of the popular features and functionalities on the mobile. So it's basically the same thing. First of all, let's look at what design is. Let's just take a brief introduction. I don't have slides, but because this will be a purely practical class. Now, what is design? Design is basically in a very simple manner. I don't want to complicate us with a lot of theories because I'm assuming that everyone is a beginner, in as much as maybe there are people here that maybe had prior knowledge or prior exposure to graphic design, but I would assume that everybody is still a beginner. So there are certain things I won't want to start deliberating and waste so much time on. Of course, you could get this class is meant to be a practical class that within these few hours, within these few minutes, that you can open your Canva on whatever platform you want to use and start creating something. That's the idea for it. So it puts is a masterclass kind of whereby we want you to, within few minutes and you're already doing something. So we'll talk about what is needed to be talked about. So the first thing is, what is graphic design? In a layman understanding, graphic design is simply the combination of text, which which is called font or typography, combination of text, images, elements, colors to produce a visually appealing and communication image. Now, what do I mean by that? If a photographer takes an image, that image can communicate. It might not also communicate. It's just like maybe you're taking your birthday shot. Now, if you don't tell people probably that you're doing better, you're holding maybe happy birthday to me or something. Someone might not know. Someone might see it as maybe a regular picture. So that picture might communicate in the sense of art, but graphic design must always communicate fully. So graphic design is beyond just normal art. Art might not always communicate. In fact, different people might have different interpretation of one art. It's just that some of these arts you see, then you see maybe um, you see something that is abstract, and different people might come to that same art and interpret it differently. But if you see a flyer, for example, the flyer that is on the screen, make 1 million in 30 days, basically everybody's seeing the same thing. Everybody's having the same feeling or the same, everybody's being communicated with the same information. So that's one of the major differences between art, photography, and graphic design. So graphic design is about, one, you're talking about visual appealing, then two, you're talking about communication, then three, you're talking about combination of different elements, which is text and photography, colors, backgrounds, elements. So in a rough summary, that's what graphic design is all about. Now, I don't want to go into so many histories of graphic design and so many intricacies of graphic design, but to just summarize a bit, there are different principles or rules that guide creating um, good graphics. There are so many rules, there are so many do's, there are so many don'ts. Most of them are familiar, most of them work hand in hand, but as we keep, I want to break them down. I don't want so much theory, then at the end of the day, we're not even like, we can't even create anything. Um, Maybe I'll share a slide that has some of those theories, but we'll be going fully into practicals whereby we see things play out. You understand? And you understand why, not just what is happening, you understand why some of those decisions are being made. So we to design graphics, of course, of so many softwares, and I learned that we learned Photoshop. Then, of course, apart from Photoshop, there are so many other um, applications for design. There is Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, which is a close pally to Photoshop. So many of these softwares were designed specifically for basic to do one basic thing. For example, Photoshop is ideal for flyers and certain kinds of graphics, photo retouch, photo editing. But that does not mean you can't manipulate it. You can't manipulate your way out for you to use it to do some other kinds of design. But most of the times it's fitted for certain things. But once you learn a software, there's a way you can manipulate it to an extent that you can use it for something that it wasn't even originally made of. So we have what we call the raster and the vector. I don't want to go into such boring long stories, but Photoshop is used for raster images. Then there is vectors, which is now where you talk about Illustrator and CorelDRAW. So these are like the two primary kinds of software used in graphic design. But over time, there has been upgrade. For example, traditionally, if you're not a graphic designer, you can't design graphics because for you to even migrate through the interface of Photoshop, for you to even create something as simple as whatever you want to create, it will take you some time. But now, this is where Canva and do what you see is what you get. You know, this is where Canva comes in. Canva is even one of those softwares that have been using the power of AI, that's artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is not just all about prompting on ChatGPT. Artificial intelligence is also building smart solutions, smart softwares, that can serve the general public, that can serve people. For example, if you're not with Canva now, even if you're not a traditional designer, you can even master it and open master it and even still confirm that you can hear me. The network went off for a moment. Confirm that you can hear me. Okay. So with Canva, irrespective of you being a traditional designer or not, you can still create in fact, I've used count anything less than maybe that will show you because maybe you're doing 2 or 3 designs in it. The fast, let's confirm that you can hear me. Please confirm that you can hear me, please. Confirm that you can hear me. Okay, I think it's coming. It's going on and off.
Hello, everyone. Okay, please let's be patient with him. I think he's having some network issues and he'll be connected as soon as possible. So please let's be patient.
Now stage. I think it was a network error. Okay. Okay,
All right.
apologies for the bit of break. So I think the last thing I was saying was Canva. Okay, so with Canva, irrespective of you being a traditional designer or not, Canva has really helped me because in a day, there are some days I create as much as 10 to 20 designs on Canva, but and I now have that kind of speed on my traditional tool. It's becoming a habit, just like me telling me on my traditional tool to create 20 designs. You might be joking because it will take a whole lot of time. But with Canva, yes, and there are certain designs I will create certain ways, and now you see me creating up to that amount. And I'm still able to still do other things. Being over the time, I've turned into a full-blown social media manager, and sometimes managing different accounts and doing so many stuff requires that it's a fast-moving um, environment. And sometimes, if you want to create some art copies, you don't need things that are complex. You need different art creatives, that you could test and test and test. So you don't have that time to start creating complex. Sometimes you need even 10 designs and all that. So Canva has really solved the whole of problem. That does not actually replace the place of traditional tools, which I still use, but for most of the things, in fact, you can use Canva for every single thing. It's just that for me, that have options for some other things, I could use them. But basically, there is hardly anything you can create on Canva. Hardly. It's like just a matter of you being an expert in the tool. You keep using it and using it and using it. But I know most of all the designs we will be doing is mainly for social media. And trust me, Canva is a game changer for social media because it's a high tech world and things are moving very, very fast. So let's navigate the Canva interface as I mentioned that three ways you could access Canva: via canva.com, via the mobile apps, whether you're using iPhone or you're using Android. You just go to your store, Apple Store or Play Store, you search for Canva and you download. So when you download, and just to reiterate, um, you might not see exactly 100% same screen, but it's almost the same thing. It's just like someone that used Facebook on a browser and someone that is using Facebook on a mobile phone. No one taught you how to use Facebook, so it's just a matter of your ability to actually follow through. Then you still be able to replicate the same thing on your mobile. So it's as smart as that. And most of these developers and the designers that actually design this interface, they design in such a way that you'll still be able to follow through without even extra or additional knowledge. The main thing you want to understand is how Canva flows. Once you understand that, you can switch between web and mobile app. So the first thing, I'm on Canva web. So once I click canva.com, let me log out so that we'll be able to log in. Remember that I give us a premium account on Canva, right? So of course, Canva is a paid tool, it's a freemium tool, meaning that it has a free version, it also has paid, but virtually you cannot um, do much on the free tool. So I give us access for this class. You have a free access for life to actually um, to access Canva Pro, the Canva Premium features. So even after this class, you could also use it for yourself. Then, if you now want your own personalized login details, then that's where you now purchase. Of course, there are so many people out there that are selling. They will give you access. They buy in team. They buy in large qualities. Then they will now give you access to join their team for a small fee. So that's the cheapest way to get it, because if you want to make purchase for Canva Pro, it's quite expensive. But you could. There's so many people that are selling access. They've already gotten a team account, so they could add you up. So, but be rest assured that we have a general login detail that you could also be using, and it's to be free as much as possible. So, with the login detail to access the Canva Premium, depending if you're a mobile phone, you might be seeing another option, say login with Gmail. Don't use that. Or this sign in with Google, no, don't use that. So on your mobile phone, it might appear a bit differently, but don't use that. You just say continue with email so that you'll be able to what? You'll be able to paste your email, then paste your password. Because if you say Gmail, then it's as if that you're signing through a Google account and you don't have access to that Google account, which is a Gmail, right? So want to log in. I already have an account that I want to use for today. Let me use this. Okay, okay, no, let me use this. So let me use this. So um, that's the first thing you want to do. Except you already have Canva Premium, please use the premium feature, the premium access it gives, at least for the assignments that I want all of us to do, because you won't have access to so many functionalities and features if you're not using Canva Premium. And I don't advise anybody, if you're serious with Canva, you're not going to use the free version. You want to use the premium. So for the purpose of this class, there's a free premium for everyone to use. So log in. Don't go and sign up with your own personal Canva account, because most of us, I know, we are still on a free plan. So use the premium, except you have already purchased premium on your own. So once you log into Canva, you have an interface like this. Once you log into Canva, you have an interface like this. So there's so many things happening here, of course, but don't be confused. These are like designs, recent designs and all that. Uh, this is a general design platform for one of some of my students for another class. So you'd so this is how it appear. The more designs you do, the more it keeps adding up. So who would be for today's class, we'll be trying to replicate this. But how did I get to this stage? The first thing you want to assess is create a design, right? So many of the things there are normal interfaces and others, so you could on your own go through them. But your major business for today's class and how to get started with Canva is creating a design. You click on it. Now, before you start creating a design, there are certain things you need to understand. Probably some of these things have been reviewed in the session, um, in the Photoshop session. Number one, you need to understand sizes. Just like every other thing you're doing, there are sizes. Even artists, they have sizes. Now, Canva is gotten from that word canvas. Canvas is like a free area, a free space, to do art or to do something. So Canva, you understand, that's like a plain paper, right? So if you're an artist, of course, there are different sizes, there are different plain papers. So the first thing you need to understand before you start designing is sizing. You understand what size you want to use. Just like in regular science, there are units of measurement. You understand? Um, for we have units that used to measure length. We have cm. You can use cm. You can use inches. You can use feet. That same way is also applicable here. The most common, I think the most common, yeah, for designing usually is inches, then there is pixels, there is centimeters, there is millimeters, then there is feet for large sizes. So these are like different um, measuring units that you could use, different measuring units you could use. So you need to understand some of these things. So the most common size we have, I think it should be the A4, just like your normal paper, your normal plain paper. Most of us have already used A4. When you go to a cyber cafe and you print, the paper they use is A4. Then I want to print on an A4 paper. You understand? That has a preset. It's a preset. That size A4 is the same size all around. You understand? So they have customized that size that A4 is a particular size. So you still see in your here, for example, you see flyer A4 21 centimeters times 29.7. Then this is the equivalent. This is what is the equivalent in millimeters. So that's the preset, that's the pre-designed size, right? So now for social media, which is the major thing that we'll be doing, there are so many sizes. For example, if you're uploading an image on stories, you see that it's kind of portrait like. If you're uploading a picture on Facebook, you see that there's a part that sometimes is a cut off, except you zoom, right? If you're uploading on Instagram, which is purely photo based, there is a size that won't go. They will force you to crop. Just like when you want to upload a photo on your WhatsApp GP display picture or Facebook, there's a portion that can work else they'll tell you to crop it. So that's a perfect square. So I highly recommend perfect square for your designs on social media. Why? It will help you so that you won't be design. Imagine you design once and you start resizing. Resizing takes a lot of time and effort. But with a perfect square, your design will work almost in all platforms. Hardly I've not seen a platform that a perfect square cannot work. You understand? That will reject a perfect square. So that's why a perfect square is my number one recommended dimension to use. So if you use a perfect square, you won't have issues with sizing in most platforms. So for example, the perfect square that we use is Instagram size, which is 1080 times 1080 in pixels, right? So you could use this size. Pixels is also another measuring unit, right? This one is which you mean out showing you that this is A4, right? These are like presets. So you can also go and change it. This logo now, auto size, So even for logos and wherever, just use perfect square, right? Because to fit so many contents. So that's one of the things you need to learn. So if you want to now do normal flyer size is A5, which is that's if you're printing the flyer usually, which is half of A4. So you just divide the length and the width into two. You get flyer size. But for the flyers, most social media flyers, you understand, you will be fine, you just be fine with a perfect square. So when you click on it, excuse me, when you click on Instagram, the Instagram size, it will take you to this next step, to this next stage. So you see that you're seeing a perfect square. So this is actually a size. So whatever you do within this size, you understand, even when you export, it will still carry this particular size. So you're seeing a blank canvas, you understand, with that particular size. If you go here, for example, you'll see Instagram portrait 1080 by, okay, this is for portrait. Instagram also has portrait, it also has landscape, but we're not using any of that. So you can come here and customize your size, right? Now, when you go to customize size, you see that it's already a preset 1080 by 1080. So instead of you coming this number, you can always, you can always use that Instagram preset that is there. So you can always change your, remember, you can always change your measuring units, right? You can change to inches. It has done it, it's still perfect square. You can change to millimeters, right? Can change to centimeters, right? So these are units. So it's basically the same thing. So let's just use this. So now we have a blank canvas. So this is where you now start doing your designs, right? So so let's go back home because I'll be using this particular design for our class today. So when I click on it, I can say edit because this design was actually shared from another Canva profile. Please, at any moment that you can't hear me, please do confirm that you can't hear me so I'll be sure that we are all following through. Just a moment, please. So this is the Canva interface, so it's not complicated. This is a practical class and we'll try to replicate this particular design. Now, because of on Canva, this is your interface, right? The first thing you can do is to add a page. You can add multiple page. Multiple page, you can have different designs on the page, right? That's maybe if you're working for a project, maybe you're designing social media, you can name them by social media for so brand, or you can name them by whatever way you want to use to organize, whatever method of organization you want to use, right? So you can create multiple page in one file. That's in one document. You can create multiple page by just creating add page below. So you create another blank page, right? So let's go through the interface. So the first thing you see here is file. File is where you can go to resize, import file, save. Now Canva is auto save. Once you have network, you understand, your files are automatically saved to the cloud. So there's nothing like using Control S or trying to always save your work. Your work is auto save. Once you click on something, every moment it's changing. So you don't have to bother about changes, right? So we have resizing, we have talked about that. So these are your undo button, redo and undo. That's if you're doing a mistake, you want to correct something, you can go back in time to undo something. So here you can change the title. Remember that this interface might be a bit different, to what you're seeing if you're on mobile, but trust me, it's basically the same thing, just a matter of you understanding what's happening. So here is people that have access to this, you can add more people. For example, you can collaborate. This is the thing about Canva. You can send to other people with Canva access for them to actually collaborate with you on a particular design by sending them email here. So you can send to ignore this because this is like an educational pro version, right? So you can send to just ignore this one. You can send to a teacher or something because this is an educational pro version. So you can share here, still the same thing with what we just did there. Then it has so many sharing functionality, Google Classroom and the rest of them. So the major thing we'll be dealing with is actually here. Of course, here is your zoom button. You can actually zoom. You understand? You want to sometimes if you want to see things better, you can actually zoom so that you can see it better. And then you can still view full screen. For example, if after designing I want to just see this full screen so that I'll know how good my design is, or I want to just see a final version of it, I could zoom to full so that is I would see my design much better, so it's appearing larger now, for example. So these are some of the options that you can have. So let me use escape to close. So now, by the side, you see some of the features. These are like the major features. These are like the toolbar for Canva. Design. Under design, you see templates. Canva has lots and lots of templates, but we won't be dealing with that for this class because once you're able to design the normal design way, you still be able to still use templates, and you already have the class is for you to start from scratch and design something, even without trying to edit this template. But if templates your thing, you could just paste one of these templates and change the text, and you're good to go. For example, you have this can change color, you can change font and so many other stuff. But that's not what we are trying to achieve today. We are trying to start from scratch and achieve something. So that's for design. Design is basically template. Elements is where you find different design resources. You could find stock images, you could find background, you can find elements, wherever you feel like you could find so many single things, graphics, pre-made graphics, you want to find icons, you want to find logos for stuff, you could find it from the elements. Text is what it is, adding text. There are so many options here. Add the heading, add the subheading, whatever it is. But this three options is basically the same thing. Just that this heading, to start it with a kind of a larger font. It's only applicable when you're dealing with a document, whereby you have different headings, heading one, heading two, but for a design is almost irrelevant. So whether you're starting with heading or subheading or whatever, it doesn't matter. Text two is text two. So brand is when you import. Canva is so beautiful that you can import your logo to Canva so that you don't always keep importing your logos, and from your logo you can pick your colors, you can even import your colors, so you keep using your logos, your brand colors, without every time importing it or trying to check, oh, which color is my brand color. You could set that up under the brand. Then here is upload. So but on Canva, because most of us are on mobile, you'll be using these upload functions to upload pictures from from um from your gallery to Canva. But if you're on laptop, if you're on your system, if you're on your PC or Macintosh, you can copy and paste images and it will paste, and it's now record as upload. Or you drag and drop. For those of us that are familiar with PCs, these are methods that you could also use for upload, right? So this is the draw function whereby you can draw signatures and whatever. And these are projects and apps. These are photos. So basically, these are the major interfaces. Now, the two major tools you'll be using on Canva is your text tool and your element tools. These are the two major things you'll be using to design whatever you want to design. Then sometimes you now use upload to import picture. That's maybe you have a picture somewhere, maybe your logo somewhere, and maybe it's not already on brand, this brand feature. You can import it. That's to import images, to import what audio, because with Canva you can also create, videos. So to import audios, to import videos. But for the focus of this class, we are dealing with designs. So to import pictures, you can use this feature. So confirm that you can hear me, please. At any moment that you're not hearing me, please do confirm that you are not hearing me. So let's try to replicate this. So now the question is, how do I start my designs? Now, the first thing as a designer you want to do is to brainstorm. That's conceptualization. Conceptualization asks the question, what do I want to design? How do I want to design it? Where am I getting my inspirations? What do I have in mind? You have to have an idea of what you want to design, then you start designing. So as a beginner, one of the recommended way to start designing is go and find good work, find good designs and try to replicate the same thing. Another one is you could look at two or three good designs, then try to combine some of those things in those designs and try to replicate your own. So that will give you ideas, that will give you concepts that you use to design. So don't just start design. No, look at one or two things. What do I want to design? What body of text? What information do I want to put? Put all those things down. Then once you have it down, go online, search for good designs on Google. If you have maybe friends as designers, if you have seen designer flyers by influencers they post and they're nice, download them. Then try to replicate those things and turn it to what you want to design. You can even combine like three different elements, three different ways, and try to replicate the same thing. So for a beginner, that's one thing you could do that could take you from 0 to 70 to 80. You understand? Trying to replicate something that is already nice, right? So it will save you so much stress. And now it will help you to now build your skills because if you're trying to start designing, no, you won't have those ideas, you won't have those creativity, right? But once you start looking at other people's ideas, you start buying inspiration, you start buying ideas, right? So the first thing you want to do is to have your blank canvas. For the purpose of this class, we are trying to replicate exactly the same design that is here, right? We want to replicate the same design. So how the question is how, excuse me, how do I start my designs? I have no rules, right? For you as a beginner, because I'm assuming everyone is a beginner, the first thing you want to do, as I said, is to conceptualize. That's look at ideas, study ideas, look at good work, then you want to replicate the same thing. So let's say, for example, we're using this as a case study. We want to replicate exactly the same thing. So we will be walking through the Canva interfaces. We will be walking through Canva features and we'll replicate exactly the same thing. So the first thing we have here is make 1 million in 30 days. So let me use this text tool and say, I click on text, I say add the heading. That's the first thing I click it. So I can use something like make 1 million in 30 days. So I have all that selected. So this is a practical class whereby you'll be seeing every single tool that we're using and you'll be seeing it live. So now the first thing I want to do now, I have this text here, right? The first thing I could do is for this case study, we are creating the same thing almost exactly, right? Is to identify which font is this. So that also applies for the design. If you're designing, you want to know like what font that will fit the context of what you want to design. That's why I said go and get good design and try to replicate the same thing because that designer is already experienced both on his font choice and so many creativity decisions. So when you click on this, you understand this is Alpha Slab 1. That's the name of the font, right? So if you're creating your own, whether you know the name of the font or not, you could find fonts that are similar to this particular font. But in this case, I'll use exactly the same thing. So this is the font. So now we have this font. So the font is done. Now the next thing we might be looking at is look at the spacing between this 1 million and 30 days. Now, when there's so much space between one element versus the other, for example, this is an element, this is another element, in as much as both of them are together, but we are seeing these two different, we are seeing this as two different elements because this one is another line, this one is another line. I can even break them and even change the fonts or colors of each of them. So basically, there are two different elements. So the second thing you might want to do is to reduce the spacing because when two elements are far apart, then we see them as totally different elements. So one of the things you want to do is to reduce the spacing. Once you reduce the spacing, they are now more like groups, right? So we call it kind of kinning. You understand? You want to kin these two fonts, to make them closer, right? So you click on this and you see something like letter spacing. Letter spacing is to increase the spacing between each of the letter. But we don't want that. Let me undo that. We want to use the line spacing. The line spacing, this will take it further, this will take it closer. So I want to use this. You play around with these handles. So something like this is perfect, right? So I've achieved that. So now the next is when you click on this, right? Is There's what we call alignment, and alignment is something very important you must learn in design. How to align your work, how to align your work for it to be nice, right? This is centrally aligned, but based on what we created here, based on what is already created here, this is aligned to the left, right? So if you click on this text, for you to align it to the left, you would go to this option. Now, there's what we call property bar. Almost these are two bars, right? Almost all softwares have property bar. What do I mean by property bar? Once you click an element, it will bring out another menu, a form of menu that is peculiar to this element that was clicked. So if you click on something else, for example, it will bring out a menu. For example, this, because this is an image, it will bring out a separate menu. So the property bar, the menu that you see here depends on the element that was clicked. So the property bar works hand in hand with the element that is here. So because of this is a text, I click it, then it now brought out element that is peculiar to this text, right? So the next thing I want to do is I want to align this to the right and left. Now, all of them are not aligned. Why? Because I didn't select all. So I need to first of all select so that it will be aligned three of them together, right? So let's use this. These are alignment, these are aligned to the left. So I've achieved this. It's now aligned to the left. It's a text, right? This has been achieved. Now you see that the next thing is that this particular font is in capital. Now, when you're learning design, the first thing you have to focus is learn simplicity. Simplicity is actually the hardest. So many of us will start mixing element, fonts, backgrounds, and all that. That's nice, right? I also create like complex designs on Canva and all that. But for the sake of this class, and for the sake that you are still starting up, focus more on learning the simple things. The master will never outgrow um, the rules, the basic rules. You understand? The basic rules, learn them very well. The basic rules talks about simplicity, making your designs as simple as possible. Learn them very well. Then before you start moving on into complex background, how to make background and all that. And those things are things that you would learn on your own. You understand? Those things are things that with time, the more you keep practicing, trying to duplicate design, you start seeing yourself, creating all those other more complex designs, right? This one is actually more simpler. There are no so much effects. It's just simple and straight to the point, right? So focus on simplicity for now, at least. So the next thing is that this particular font is on capital. Now, how do I change this to all capitals? Now, one, I could start typing all caps even at the start, or I could, after I've typed, small and capital letter, I can change all of them to all caps. So all I have to do is make sure that this is selected, then the property bar appears, and I click on more. Then under more, I'll see something like uppercase. So to change all fonts to uppercase, as easy as that. So we have something else. We have make 1 million in 30 days. So let me take this one down. So how do I take it? I use my delete key to bring that one down. So send delete. When you click on text tool on your mobile, it should bring out your keyboard. So on your keyboard, you now hit your backspace or your delete key so that it should take it down. So I cannot space out, right? Okay, it's still taking. So what I have to do is to enter the one, right? Make sure I enter the one so that it will break it down so that the one will go into this particular 1 million. Now that make, I want to cut this, but still a better way I always do. What I do is to duplicate this text. How do I duplicate? Once I am on text, I right click. I will see something I duplicate on my keyboard. For those of us that are familiar with um, working with laptops, there are keyboard shortcuts, and to duplicate is Control D. And Control D works in almost all softwares. Is the same keyboard shortcut. So I want to duplicate, and duplicate is Control D, right? So the next thing we could also do, if you're mobile, of course, there's no keyboard shortcut, but one thing you would see on your mobile is the duplicate option. You understand? That's why I say you just need to understand what's happening. You still duplicate somewhere in your interface if you're mobile, right? So you click on this and Control D, I've duplicated. That's creating an exact copy of this, right? So I just want to clean everything because I just want only that make, right? So I'll clean it, delete, right? And I have only make. Let me click on make again. So I want to change the font. So let me see the font that I use here. The font for this make. I use Leak Sparta. That's the name of font. Now, what are fonts? See, fonts are like handwritings. For example, different people have different handwritings, and there are millions and if not billions of handwriting. In fact, hardly do you see two people that have exactly the same handwriting. That's the way font works. There are no two same fonts. You understand? They might have answer different, similar names, but no two fonts are exactly the same, right? So there are people that are their area of specializations to create fonts. So once they create fonts, you have them. Just see fonts as handwriting. Canva will give you access to so many premium fonts, right? Then over on Canva, you can go and download fonts and also excuse me, and also import those fonts. So for this case, let's use leaks pattern. So you can come once you click, you can search, but it's already appearing here. But let's search. Let's use a search functionality. So let me be sure that I got the spelling for that leaks pattern. Yeah. So it's already here, right? So no need of it. So let's click this and change it to leaks pattern. So it's something that you can search and you get. So let's move it up. So let's delete this one because we already have the make. Let's delete. So let me reduce this font size again. Let me reduce. So if you want to reduce the font size, all you have to do is to drag it from the side, right? You know, don't drag like this, right? Because you're just only increasing the handle. That's the space between the font. So all you have to do is to drag it from this side, diagonal. So you drag, you'll be increasing it. Now, as you're playing around with these handles, the font size is also increasing. So it's almost equivalent to you going to the font and typing a number. But if you type a particular font size, it might not fit the size that you're looking for. So because of this design, this is the best way. You know, when you're typing maybe in MS Word or any document file, most of us that have experience with typing, you actually like the most popular font size like 14 for typing large body of text, 14, 12. Some also use 11 and 10. Some people for some subheadings and headings, they can use like 18, 21, or wherever they want to use, right? So, but for design, you'll be reducing font size, you understand, based on what you're designing. There is no fixed font size. So we have this. Now the next thing we want to do is to search for this particular element. We have an element here, and it's called it's like a thought bubble or a chat bubble. So when you click on elements, you can search for different levels of element. Just the major thing you need to identify is the keyword that you want to use to search for that particular element. So in this case is chat. Let's use chat box. Yes, chat box. Chat box. So once you click on the chat box, you understand, you see a whole lot. You see under all. Let's click on graphics, right? You see a lot. This one is graphic. This one is like things that have already been pre-designed and imported back to you on Canva. So you see photos. Photos is just like photos taken by photographers, right? So you see videos, shapes, and some other things. So in this case, we are searching for this. this. So you could search for it, right? You could search for it. Let me see. So these and these are not exactly the same thing, but let's just use this. But you could keep searching, change keyword if you want exactly that, but at least it's almost similar in nature. The more you keep scrolling, the more you keep finding alternatives. So, but in this case, let's just use this one. It's not exactly the same thing, but it's similar. So that's one way to find elements, using the right keyword to search for information. So let's bring this down a bit. So the next thing we need to do is to change the the next thing we need to do is to change the field for this. So if you change the field for this. So we once we click on this, you'll see that it has changed. Now this is the outline. This one is the outline color. Why this one is the field color, right? So this is the outline color. Why this one is the particular field? This is the outline color. Why this one is the field color? So would have to change bring this font a bit. Now, if you want to bring this particular font, because of this font is actually this font is black and this one is also black, so it won't pop out, right? So now there is what we call layers. See layers as a way of stacking groups on top of each other. For example, if you stack something on top of each other, right? When you stack something on top of each other, there's always a book that comes before the other. So now, for example, if you right click and click on layers, right? You can say back, send to back. Then you can say send backward. Backward is a step back, but send to back is like the last step that you want to take whatever you're taking to. So send back would take it a step back. Sorry, send back would take it to the last possible step back. But send backward will just take it to a step back, right? So I can if I send it right click and send this layer and send it backward, it will take it a step backward than taking it. But let's say I use layer and say send back, right? It will take it to the last possible step back. You understand? So that's why you're not seeing it. It's still there, but because of this is on top of the text, so you won't be able to see it. So you have to identify your layers and how to arrange your layers, right? You have to know how to arrange your layers. You have to understand how to arrange your layers, right? So for the keyboard shortcut is Control Square open bracket. So if you're mobile, there's nothing like keyboard shortcut. So you just right click and you see something like you just see something like layers. So anywhere you find a layer feature, that's where you can bring forward or bring backward, right? So in this case, we have this. So so now I want to increase my size. So just as I said on size, you increase from the side, right? Okay. I think I'll just have to find this particular element to feed the contents of what I'm doing, or we'll just use something similar because of the shape. For example, now that's one of the things you look at design. This shape is as if that is going off, it's not balancing with this text. And if I move it closer, it starts disturbing my text, right? So I need something that work better. So that's why there are different elements that that work in different ways. So I think this is just perfect. Let me see if I could find it again. So it could be because of Canva has thousands and thousands of elements, so you just have to like keep scrolling so you find it. So I just let me flip this. I don't think it's exactly the same thing. So I would just have copied and copied this and paste. But for the purpose of this class, I want us to know to actually have that feeling that yeah, whatever we want to search for, we can actually find it. It's just a matter of being patient, going through the search, keep searching, to get what you want. It's not still exactly the same thing. So I'll just have to copy. But actually, this particular element is here. It's just a matter of I don't want to waste so much of our time, trying to start through element to get exactly this element. But it's something that I would love us to spend time, to get something because all these other ones are not like fitting the context of this. If as you can see here, this one just balanced and the mouth popped out. So that's one way to search for elements. The keyword there is chat box. So you have to keep scrolling to you get as something exactly like this, right? Or something very similar to that. But in this case, because of time, let me just paste. Let me undo this. So there is undo. For example, I deleted this, right? I deleted this. Immediately I deleted it, right? Immediately I deleted it, and maybe by mistake I can actually undo what I deleted. I just use this undo button, undo it will still appear again. So that's way to if you delete something, you can do and undo. So let me copy this, paste. Just let me just so we have that. So the next thing I want to do is this cohort 4, right? Is the same thing I just go into the text and editing and changing whatever you want to change, right? So, but I already have something that is already existing here. So let me copy this. Just a- So the next thing I want to do is the next thing I want to do is to change this particular color. For example, now I've seen that I've selected this particular font, right? I could look for also another font. I could look for another font. Let's say, for example, this font is not this particular font. Let's say it's something like this, right? So it's a matter of you identifying like the font, the same font. But sometimes if you're looking at a design and you want to duplicate the same design, you could just, try by looking at it, you could see something that is very similar to that particular font. And you now want to also do the same thing, right? You want to also do the same thing. For example, this one is Montserrat, but sometimes looking at it, you might not actually know exactly the same font, right, that was used, but you can now do something that you feel that is very similar to that particular font, right? You can see that this is a whole lot different fonts. So let's just use this since I know the particular font. So I just want to change it to Montserrat. Change it to Montserrat. So that's it. So the next thing I want to do, there's something, this is a rectangle, right? If you want to search an element, this is a rectangle. It's just like a shape, right? So one of the key things you want to learn in Canva is the ability to search for keywords. You have to understand like how to search for a particular keyword, right? So understanding and knowing keywords is very, very important. So you already know that this is a rectangle. If you want a circle, you search for a circle. If you want star, you search for star. You know, you want chart, you know, what icon you're looking for. You have to identify the keyword to use, and that keyword is what you use to search. So this is a rectangle. Let me delete it and go back to our workspace. So let's start for rectangle. So let me change this to black. So let me change the color. So we have this. So we have something like a line running across here, right? So how do we create that line? Of course, Canva has line too, but for this case, I use this triangle and I reduce the thickness kind of. Then it turns as though it was a line. See, increasing and decreasing it, right? So I decrease. It's turning as though that is a line, but it's actually not a line. So if you're not getting good results, you know that you can always zoom, then decrease it, right? So let me move this, then let me duplicate this also. Let me duplicate this also. So I have this, I can. To select two objects on your PC, you hold down your shift key, you click on the first, you hold down shift, you hold down shift and click on the second. But if you're not on um, PC or web, you see what we call the multiple select feature. So you click on the first one, then you click on multiple select feature, and you also click on the second one. You have that shift, that shift. This was how I was able to create that line, right? I think that one is a bit closer. Let me move this. So how am I moving this? On my keyboard shortcut, there are arrow keys, right? So even if I don't want to use it on your mobile, you still see where as if you're dragging something, as if you're pinching and dragging something. So it's still equivalent. I've deleted this by mistake. Now, if you delete something by mistake, it's very important to remember this feature, which is do and undo. Let me undo it again. Now, if you want to select some things without manually um, using your shift, there is what we call the selection tool. So you can just, on my mouse, I can click and drag, but on your phone, you see something like a selection tool. So it has selected this one because the selection touched this one. So I'll just maybe rather in this case use the shift option. Let me zoom this so that I'll be able to. Clicking on the text tool and start typing and reduce the size. But because of this font is here, this sorry, apologies, this text is here. I don't need to start typing it. So one, you can duplicate. So let me just paste. If I paste because I've created it. So copy, control C, paste. If you're using mobile, you still see the same functionality, copy and paste. So I've copied, let me paste. So you might have maybe in the same work, um, in the same workspace, that's in the same design, the same document, you have like a text you want to copy from one point to another. So of retyping it and wasting so much time, excuse me, you could actually copy and paste that same text. So I've copied it. Then this is a barcode. I generated this barcode from word.link. You could search online if you want to generate something like this, because essentially someone can scan this barcode and the link, the call to action, which is this, will still appear. So I generated it there. Once you go to word.link, you put your mobile, then the presets, because this link is taking people to WhatsApp, the preset will come and order you will put your presets and order. Then once someone scans the code, it takes them back it takes them to WhatsApp. So with that, you can create this kind of barcode. So let me copy for this case and paste. So I drag and move. Now, one of the most important things you need to learn about design is your arrangement, right? How things are arranged, how things are aligned. Alignment is very, very important. You don't want things scattered. Let's say, for example, you put this here, then put this here. How these two things now are they related? How are they aligned? How are they looking to? You want this and this to be together, right? So you want to arrange it. You want to make sure that your arrangement is top notch. So we have this. So we have this red field. Let me still copy and paste. Remember, it's equivalent to using your text tool and you start typing. But because of we have this one is already done. So end of duplicating or whatever. So let me just change this to black. Remember that I'm just designing all black because with time we will start dealing with colors, how to add colors and all that. So depending, most of the times it depends on your choice. Sometimes people just start designing on black and white and start changing the color. Sometimes you just want to, you know, you want to depend on how your inspiration feels. You just want to start designing even by adding colors because maybe you already have the color, your color choice and every stuff that you want. So let me paste this still. Let me paste this still. So we see now we we select all alternate and let me move this a bit up so that I'll have enough space. So this is somewhere here. Now you see that there is an icon between this register and this link. There is an icon. So what we have to search for keywords are very very important. You could search for something like web icon or web link icon. So let it load. Look for what will fit out. So click on this. Let me click and drag a bit. So, let me zoom this.
Can you hear me? I think there's a little network problem here. Hello, Mr. David, can you hear me?
Okay. Thank you. I think my network went off for a moment. Yeah.
All right.
At any time you can't hear me, please let me know because the network will go off sometimes and just come in again.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. So the next thing now, this is how you search for icons, just as I've explained. So you have to know like keywords to use. This is the website that you use. So you have to know like keywords to use to search for icons. So so you just know how to like think of keywords you feel that good icons or starting good, especially logos on Canva, and probably they're doing it because of trademark issues. So it's better you go to things like Google to search for those. So I'll show us how to do that. So in this case, we have to search for icons. So you have to know like keywords equivalent to you also typing, but in this case, how you want to type it. So you can just copy
Okay, I think there's a little break in network here.
okay.
Mr. David, I think there's a little
Yeah.
break in network.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. 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 Apologies for that. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So I've copied the first, which is this, and this is the second I want to copy. Remember that it's equivalent to you using your text tool to copy and to paste. So if you're not copying and pasting, you can also duplicate, which I've explained. Then when you once you duplicate, you type over the text. So in this case, I want to just copy and paste. Now, still on alignment. Once you're on Canva, once you're clicking on an element and you're moving it about, there are imaginary lines that you be seeing that is appearing. And those are like guide lines, right? So once I click here, I want this end name to be centrally aligned with this one. So as that line appears center to it, right? I'm saying it center. This aligned to the top, this aligned to the bottom, but I want it to be centrally aligned, right? So once it's center aligned, I'll stop. I'll stop. So perfect. So this I copy this, paste. Then we now have this. This is actually a character. So it's on your keyboard, right? This should be either forward or back slash. I don't know which one again is called forward or back. So let's use this. So it's on your keyboard. So let's copy this slash and this also slash. So now I want this WhatsApp icon, just as I said, if I search for WhatsApp icon, for example, you will not be seeing the same. You won't be seeing like there's that WhatsApp icon because of maybe trademark issues and stuff. It's loading, taking some time to load. So we'll see that in a bit. So you see, okay, fine. You see that some of these icons are appearing there. They're not exactly WhatsApp icons. They look like WhatsApp icons. So one way to do it for certain things is to go on Google and search. You can search for WhatsApp icon PNG. PNG are images without background. So when you go to on Google and search for WhatsApp icon PNG, then you would actually see so many WhatsApp icons without background. Right? So we have searched for this. So we have this, right? So let me click on the images. Click on this. So I don't like this. Let me click on this. It's okay. These are really WhatsApp icon. Yes, correct. So now one way you just go to the okay, let me use this. Let me just use this. One way is to go to the main site by clicking visit here, then you go and download it. Like for some of these sites, they are stock images sites. So you go and download it. Another way is Canva. You can just copy if you're on laptop or you save this particular image. So even if it has background, because you're not downloading from the main site, you can actually go to Canva and paste it or import if you're using mobile. So when you paste or import, it appears, this one it doesn't have background, but even if it has background, you can manually edit the photo, which is something we'll deal with shortly. So let me move this a bit. Yeah, yeah. Let me move this WhatsApp icon a bit. Okay, so let me move this so that it will be well arranged. Let me move this a bit. So that's it. So the next thing we might be looking at is logo. This is a logo. This is an image. It wasn't created here. It was an image of kind. But let's just as software, right? But you can also manipulate it, or you spend your time to use the Canva to create logos, and you now have that logo whereby you could just be pasting it. So now this is an image. Now how did I get this image? Still on search. You understand? We are lucky enough. Canva has Naira this thing icon. So let's just start from Naira PNG on Canva. But even if you don't see it on Canva, you can always go to Google and all that works also. So the next we'll search for Naira PNG. So let me just use this one. So I'll just paste this one. Now you see that it has background. For me to remove the background, all I have to do is go to edit photos. When I click on edit photo, you see a background remover. So
Okay,
I think on
can you
mobile
hear
is
me,
under the
Mr.
filter
David?
menu or something like that.
Mr.
So
David, can
if
you
you
hear
want to
me?
remove the background, once you click on it, the AI is very, very intelligent. It
Can
would
you hear me?
actually remove.
Can you
Yeah, I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
We can't
Yes,
see
I
your
can hear you.
slide. We can't see anything.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me refresh. I think it went off for a moment.
All right, all right.
Okay. Can you see?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, okay, that's fine. So the first thing you want to, I was, okay, I think it was I was where I was searching for this particular image. So remember that the most important thing you want to identify is your keywords, the keywords to use. Now this is a live image, so you don't want to start searching this in graphics. You might not find results because graphics will be more of computer generated images, right? So you want to click on photos. So as I pasted this particular image, let me delete this. So I pasted this particular image, then I want to click on edit photos. When I click on edit photos, I click on background remover. That's the first thing I want to click on. I think network is a bit slowish. So we'll try and switch my network. Let me try and this network is going off.
Okay, I think there's a little network
Yes, yes.
issue.
Can you see my screen now?
No, no, no,
Okay, let me try again. Think I had
no.
to switch to another network.
Okay.
Say hi to Uncle Flores. And say hi. Hi, Jay.
Okay, everyone, while it's still trying to connect, please just indicate in the comment section if you're still connected, please. I want to be sure we're still connected with at least those people that are following.
Confirm if you can see my screen on. Take my PC to the. Okay. Okay. Okay, apologies once more. Hope you can see my screen. My screen is coming up. Yes.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
I can see
Okay.
your
Thank you.
screen. You're
So,
welcome.
so as I was saying, so I was saying the first thing when you go on that element, I search for Naira PNG. But even if you don't see what you want, you can always go to Google and search for whatever you're looking for PNG because I want like um a Naira, whatever, showing just stuff, right? So one of the things I could do is to, this has a background. How would you know? On top of white, it seems that it doesn't have background, but when you remove it from the white to a solid color, you see that it has a background. So let me make sure that I remove the background first. So let me click on this. Then I click on background remover, edit photo background remover. On mobile phone, it might be a bit different. You might see something like filter. Then you move on it. Then you see the option to remove background. So let me just take this somewhere here. Perfect. So one thing I did was to actually blur this image. So when you click on image and you click on edit photo, you can actually you see so many other options to do so many other things. So one thing you could do is to you see something like you can see something like blur. So it's not if it's not showing the first one, you just scroll down a bit, then you see something like blur. So this if I want to blur some parts, but I want to blur the entire image, so I click on full image, then I blur up a bit, then I just go back because automatically Canva has already saved it. There's just like save. So the next thing I want to do is to select this background, right? This background, this yellowish background. So let me just start for yellow blur background. Yellow blur background, Erica. Yellow blur background. So I could just use BG. Short for background. Most design software already knows the shortcut. This one seems not to be okay. Let me just search for background. I didn't get like good results, so I might just want to type it in full. Master saying okay. So let's see something like this. So by just clicking it once, the actually applies, right? So I can click drag. Now you see that it's covering some things. Why? Because it's not at the center. It's not at the back of the entire layer. So what I have to do is just let me drag this a bit. Use the hand just a bit. Take it back, right? So if so I right clicked, then I clicked on layers, then I sent it to back. Because back, that's it. It's not just backwards, it's not just a step back, but to back is the 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 backwards most level it can ever get to. So it goes to the background. So this image, how did I find this image? Same thing. I search for stock. Now you don't need to speak a good English. You can just type it. So it says stock, woman, naira money, right? So these are like keywords. So you're seeing stock, you're seeing woman, you're seeing man, you're seeing money. These are like keywords. So in this case, I could just use something like this, right? So let me use this particular one, see if it works. So I can click on edit photo to do the same thing, remove the background. So as I clicked on remove the background, I can increase this just a bit. So I don't think I like this image. Let me just use maybe exactly the same thing here. Use this, see if this one works. So we come back to this image and how we rearrange it. So let's just get all that thing sorted out. There's a square here, right? This is a square as you can see under this background. So let me undo, let me copy that. Not square, rather a rectangle. So let me paste it. So let me right click and layer. I want it to be at the back of the layer, back. That's taking it back. Now what I'll now do is still right click, I still selected and take it just, I'll use my keyboard shortcut, take it just a step forward. I'm taking it back because I want it to be at back, but I want it to be in front of this. So back, if I'm using backward, I'll get so tired. So I just took it back to the back, then took it another step forward. So there are so many elements here, that we're no longer seeing because all their colors are black. So let me hold down alternate to select. So it's just the same thing you have to do is to do multiple selects also. You have to do is to do multiple select. So color has popped out. So you look at how it was resized. So let me do this. Let me take it a step back. Okay. Okay. So I can use my key. But by the time you keep practicing, watching the video over and over yourself, apologies, my network just keeps going on and off. Apologies for that.
Okay, it was like there was a break in network. Okay, but we are connected.
Okay. Thank you. So
All right.
we under this field we want to change the color for the 100 only. Now there's one beautiful thing Canva does. When you click on the text, right, or when you click on the text, each photo, Canva will generate a color for you.
There's a network break. Can you hear me?
Generate color and this particular shade of yellow.
Hello,
Yes,
Mr. David.
yes.
I think there is a network break.
Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I think I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So I was explaining that for this particular for Canva, one of the beautiful thing in Canva is when you click on something, I want to change this particular hundred to this particular shade of yellow. So when I click on it, I click on text color. Now Canva generates colors out of the different images I have to generate colors out of it. So I want this particular shade from this background. So let me click on this, right? Let me click on this. Apologies a moment. So let me copy this. Let me say paste this. This is also a rectangle with a rounded corner. Let me show you. So this is a rectangle with rounded corners. So it's as easy as let's use a rectangle. See how I created it. So one is you could use already maybe rounded corner rectangle. You can search for that, or you just use a rectangle then still round up the corners. So any way you want to follow, or any approach you want to follow. So select border style, then corner rounding to round it up a bit. So as you can see, it's rounding the corner. So let me change the color, same shade of yellow, because this bit down a bit. Now you see that it's covering that text. I want to move it down the layer. So what do? My keyboard shortcut, Control open square brackets down, or I right click and say layers and take it send backward. That's a step back, right? So without keyboard shortcut, it might be difficult. You're taking step back here. So send back is now back. I now take it, keep taking it forward. So that's it. Now, if I take it forward, because covering this lady, you see that that text is no longer appearing. So instead of taking this one forward, what I could do is just select the text. So Control, I take it forward, change the color. That's it. Now there's what you call outline. This rectangle now has an outline. So let me click on border style and border width. So under this border width, I can adjust it. It will now create a kind of outline. So the next thing is we'll move this a bit and remove this a bit. With an alternate, remember, to select. So you see that it's coming out right? So let me move. Perfect. So what else? Um, So we have this naira. We have this logo. Okay, let me change this shade of yellow. Let me select this shift. On mobile, you see multiple select option. Then this which I have register here. Discount 2% off. Amazing. So basically, we have successfully replicated this particular design. Of course, we're not gunning for 100%, rather, we are gunning for our ability to almost do exactly the same thing. And as we are doing it, we are learning some of the basic tools in Canva. Now, now you see that the major things we used was this element, text tool, and upload. These are like the basic things. We talked about how you can search for images, upload, how to use your text tool, how to move around layers, how to select, how to copy and paste fonts, how to change fonts, and the rest of them. Now, remember my rule. As you're starting out, you want to focus on trying to replicate other people's design, other good designs. By replicating other people's good designs, then you'll be able to create wonderful designs for your own self because most other good designs they're already obeying most of the design principles on colors, on arrangement, on alignment. So by the time you follow good design and you try to replicate it on Canva, you see yourself obeying most of those boring principles, boring rules. You see yourself obeying them. You see yourself doing wonderful things. And the more you practice, the more you get better. And remember that it's the same, it's the same tool basically, whether you're on mobile or your web, but it's just a matter of you trying to flow understand like how things are arranged, whether you're on web or whether you're on mobile, right? So let's just move this down a bit. So we have it. So we have successfully replicate almost the same design as what we have here, right? So there are no much effects, there are no much background mixing of different backgrounds and all that, but this is like This is like a tutorial that will take you from basic to an intermediate stage. For now, focus on simplicity. Focus on trying to create simple designs. Master those simplicity before you start going to complex stuff. Because once you're able to master this simple designs, simplicity. Once you're able to create things as simple as they are, you understand. You see yourself also, with time, you're now doing more complex designs and more complex stuff. So now let's talk about exporting. When you're done with your design, you need to export. By exporting, that means you export it into another um into an image or whatever format you want. Now all you have to do is go to share. When you click on share, you see different options to share your designs. So we have all this, but the major thing we are looking at is download. You want to download your design. So there are different image formats. The most popular is JPEG, JPEG, or JPG, which is the latest version of JPEG. So this is like an image format, one of the most popular. Now we have PNG. PNG, I prefer it for some kind of export, right? It's mainly used for, I mainly use it for social media designs. I use JPEG maybe when I want to print or something, but both of them works almost similar, right? Now, but the distinct thing now is that for PNG can actually export an image without background. That's where you go to some sites. Though it was actually people that designed those images. Then after some time, they will now export it without background, right? So that's where you can use PNG if you want to export specifically an image without background. Then we have our normal PDF, portable disk format, portable document format, right? Here, PDF is basically used if you want to um, export something. It won't be an image, it will be like a document, right? Someone can only access it through a PDF reader. Then we have SVG, scalable vector graphics. This for you want to export an image maybe for a developer application or something. You can actually export it Canva actually exports as video. You have GIF. GIF is a video or a emotion image without the normal sounds. Without sound. These stickers that you see that are moving about, all those things are GIF file. So you can actually create stickers here, right? So for this, we'll do PNG. So you make sure that you select only the page that you want to export for this page. For this
Oh my god, I didn't even know my mic was mute. Anyways, I'll just go over everything I said. I said I think he's having some network issues, which is normal with the situation of everything right now. So I'll just say this, my little knowledge, I just humble myself and say this, although I design flyers for people, and you, if you're in my contact, you might have seen the product of my work, and I try to give my best in it. So the product of what I do right now is as a result of Mr. David, right? So I am a product of his class, right? So I did not even need this whole class to spike up or trigger the aspect of me that wants to design. I just heard the point he made during is practical, and that was how I was able to pick up Canva and design meaningful things, meaningful flyers, even for my clients, right? So I was able to, that was how I started, and I started designing. So basically what I'm saying is, if you can spend these 2 hours to watch this video, trust me, you should be good by now. If you're not making use of Adobe Premiere Pro, which is the advanced and the most needed and accurate, then you should be making use of Canva, which makes it more easier for you to design. This is the easiest platform for you to design. So please make use of everything it's saying. Please, you guys, make use of everything it's saying. While I was still in his class, I think he was talking about um saving your work, right? Exporting your work to your gallery. So it's very easy. I think he was already done with that, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, Mr. David is connected right now, so I'll just wait for him so he gets connected with us. Hello, Mr. David, are you there? Can you hear me? Okay, while we wait for him, I'll just go on. So, like I said, if you can spend time to watch this video, if you missed any, maybe because of network, trust me, you are going to be on the less level of designing, right? Okay, Mr. David is here, so you just connect him. Okay, Mr. David, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can hear you. Okay, so I'll just connect you, right? I'll just add your
Okay.
slide
Apology
to.
for that. Okay.
Yeah, it's understandable. It's totally understandable. The network and everything currently, it's understandable.
Okay. So I was about I said well done well almost done. So let's talk about when you want to export your designs. So you want to go on that share, then scroll down, you see downloads. When you click on downloads, you see PNG. I talked about PNG. I talked about JPEG. I talked about some other file formats. So in this case, I'm using PNG. You make sure that you select the page that you want to export. In this case, is the current page, which is page 3. I say done, and that's it. You download. So just before we go, the other little things you could do with Canva. For example, this design you could just select and say just click something like this. For example, you're animating the entire page. So So you could animate the entire page. You just click on any object first, then you click on animate, then you go to page animate. This to animate the entire page, right? So when you animate this page, you can export it as a video or as a GIF file. GIF file can carry animations, right? So, but I might just want to animate instead of animating the entire page, select text animation and do something like this. Could do something like this. So I could also come here, click on footer and share. You now share it as these two files. Let me do page animate. So it's animate every single thing. But it's something you can spend time on, and get it to I start to look better. So just animating the entire page. You animate it so let me just see something like this, right? So instead of using a video, it's not a video because it doesn't really I didn't really do the video part and this is not covering that aspect because in Canva you can use it to create at least minor simple videos. So let me just select this one, say done. So I could go back and change the file formats to give short click without sound. So I'll click done. So these are the basic things, the core things that you can use, and with more practice, whether on your mobile phone, as I've explained severally, or on laptop, you would start designing on Canva. So it's just a matter of practice. I remember the rule: look for fine, good looking designs, visually appealing designs, then try and create exactly the same design, or you design. Pick an element here, pick an element there. By the time you keep doing it on over and over again, you'll see yourself, you start creating amazing designs. And before you start designing, always conceptualize that, have what you want to design in mind, have your text ready. You can type it somewhere, or you just write it out somewhere, have your text ready, have what you want to do in mind so that you start designing. Because at the first at the beginning, it might look so much like you don't even know where to start. Where am I going to start from? So I'm giving you like some tips, of where you can actually start from. You can start from what others have already created. So all you just have to start doing is, trying to replicate exactly the same thing, exactly what others have done. So this would actually help you a whole lot to, to get better and start honing your skill up to a pro level. So you see that the interface, the tools on Canva are pretty straightforward. Text tool, you know what is used for. Element, you know what is used for. Upload, you know what is used for. Designs, which is like templates. Um, you don't have to start. You don't have to start looking at interfaces, learn different interfaces. For those of us that have been following the Photoshop class, you see that this pretty beginner friendly than any other software you ever learn. So it's just a matter of practice, trying to replicate what you're seeing virtually. Anything, you understand, any design can be replicated on Canva at least up to 70% virtually. You might not get 100% for certain things, but virtually 70% of designs, you can create something of up to 70% that looks like it on Canva. So that will be all for today's class. I'll be hoping that we asked our questions. Not many of us came online tonight, but I'm sure that most of us will go through the recorded video now. It's not be pre-recorded because most of us will go through the video. So when you go through the video, you have questions, just ask. I would want all the questions to be on the group so that I'll be able to actually tackle those questions. Because if you're coming in one by one, sending me those questions, I might not have all the time to reply to us individually. So I would prefer all the questions comes in the group so that people that will also see the same questions they want to ask, they won't ask repeat questions. And there are some questions that once you ask, other people also learn from them. Then over me, I would also explain certain things, maybe some things that maybe I don't understand. So your beautiful questions. I'll also send in the design. So our first assignment is trying to replicate exactly the same design that we did tonight. So I want to thank goodness for the opportunity, and I want to thank those of us that were able to follow in the live video. I want to thank you all. Then I wish everyone success. I wish everyone
Thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you so much. Thank
tonight.
you very much. Thank you. I have been able to learn a lot from this section, and I will always tell them, like when the network was when there was a network break, while I was trying to cover up for the network, I told them that I am a product of your class. So I design now, and I design for my clients, right? So basically, I just had to hear something from you, and that triggered me to start designing, and my design are actually going well
Everything.
out. Yeah, so thank you so much for this privilege. It is a rare one, and we do not take it for granted. It's a great privilege having you in our midst. Thank you so much.
So
So
just
I'll
before I
just
go,
let.
maybe let me just play that gift first. Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
saying
I'm
something.
with you. I'm with you. Okay,
Yeah,
no, I
yeah, I'm
said just
done.
before I go, this is the gift file. Okay, okay. So this is the
Okay,
gift file. So I'll send it to the group.
okay, okay, okay. So thank you so much. Thank you very much. So
Thank you.
I'll just I'll just release you for the night. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Goodness. Thank you.
All right, everyone. I hope you learned a lot from this. This was a whole lot of content. So if you know you did not go along with this class, please watch the recorded class. We have made provision for recorded classes. So please make sure you watch the recorded classes and make sure you practicalize this. Remember, practice makes perfect. So if you don't practicalize, trust me, there's no way you become perfect in this. So practicalize it. Start designing. Start designing. And the beautiful part is Canva is very beginners friendly, like he said. So definitely, even though you don't have any inspiration on what to design, as you go there, you're going to see other people's work that will inspire you. That will inspire you to design, right? So start practicalizing this, please. This is a whole lot. This is a whole lot of content. And trust me, you don't want to take this for granted. So go practicalize this. And once you see you're doing well with this, you can start sharing your work on your WhatsApp status or your social media platform. You can start giving free sales offer for people so that you can start designing for people for free. You can just make a free offer, like 2 to 3 people, indicate your interest. That was how I started though. Indicate your interest. Once I get 3 people, I will design free flyers for you. And you do that. That's a way of making yourself known, making your brand known. Then you can by doing that, definitely you can post the product of your work on your social media platform. People see that and they will patronize you. And also we have a WhatsApp group chat, like so anything you design, post in the WhatsApp group. You don't know who in that group is looking for someone to work with. You don't know who is looking for a graphic design in that group. So anywhere you find yourself, your brand, your product is not a waste. So start posting, start working now. No good success comes on a platter of gold. You have to start working now. Trust me, you won't find this anywhere for 3, 5 or 5,000 naira. But we are doing this for you because we want to get the best from you. We want to see you um do well. So like I can see in the group chat, he has already sent the flyer. So try replicating this, try doing this. It's as easy as he did it, right? So if you were in this class, start trying to design this and make sure you post it back in the group chat. Let's see your work. Let's see your work so that it can rate you, so that it can correct you. Remember, when you practice, you become better. And any flaws in your work can be corrected by him. That's the privilege we have in the group. So please start posting your assignments. Make sure you do your assignment. Watch this video over and over again and get better with it. So it was a privilege having you guys here, and thank you very much. It's a good night from here.